Okay.
Just leave that. That's how you start it.
Okay. I'm going to leave it.
Just leave it.
All right. So am I going first?
Yeah, you're going first. Wait, we have to introduce ourselves just like a little bit because that's how people do.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about our week and stuff.
Oh, our weeks. Yeah, weeks. I guess it's been a long time actually since we've actually recorded anything.
Been a minute. Well, I'm Savannah.
I'm Chloe.
We're two best birds.
Two best Spuds.
So how's your week been? You started your new job. Last podcast, you were unemployed, and now you have a new job. So
2 weeks later, I started at work at a hot spring now. It's pretty good. Big fan. Too, actually, because I go back and forth and I like it. My coworkers seem pretty fabulous, so
that's good.
I like it. I like that I get to be outside. It's a good time.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Fucking nailed it.
Fucking nailed it.
Fucking nailed it.
What have you been doing all week? 2 weeks?
I'm just working, tattoo shop stuff, drawing.
Have you tattooed anymore?
After you, I've done 2 tattoos since you.
Yeah.
But I'm setting up a couple other appointments this week, so hopefully I'll be doing 2 more.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Let's do this. Yes, show me. Tell me.
I wanted to start this episode by talking about an urban legend in Twin Falls. So this episode we're talking about stuff that takes place outside of Idaho.
We're going to bring a little Twin Falls into it though.
Yes. Because I read this at work and I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, is it an Idaho urban legend or is it like
Twin Falls?
Oh, it's like specifically our area.
Yeah, so my pal Chelsea, she sent 2 emails, one of like with a personal story, which we'll read next episode. And then she said, "Hi y'all, I'm loving the podcast so far and it's super nice to hear your voices. Anyway, I was sent this Reddit story from someone I met here in Eugene. I have never heard this before. Have you? Prob's not real, so not sure if it's what you're looking for, but it's a spooky story that takes place in Twin Falls." So it's off of Reddit.
Okay, so the source is it's like a 3070.
Yeah. Well, I figured it's fun anyway, and also like actually kind of creeped me out, to be honest.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, I like stories that kind of make me go, what the fuck? So it's on Reddit No Sleep, which is just stuff that's supposed to scare you.
Yeah.
Like I used to read stories off of Sixpence. It's a Tumblr account, and they like post stories similar to this, and like I've read some fucking weird ones.
I like it.
All right. So it's called My Brother Doesn't Exist Anymore.
Oh my god.
If you've lived in Twin Falls, Idaho for very long, then you have likely heard the tale of the Singing Bridge. It's a pretty standard urban legend, but I will summarize as best as I can. Have you heard of it?
That sounds really familiar. Yeah, sorry, I'm just like making noises. Just go.
I
just
haven't.
Do your thing, girl.
Because I was like, what the fuck?
You've never heard of the Singing Bridge?
The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't think I've ever heard anything more than that.
Just tell it like it is.
The area in question is near Shoshone Street South, called Rock Creek Canyon. Near the top, you may notice a staircase that leads to some peculiar-looking stones. your face, like,
yeah, I'm like putting together where this is. I'm like,
I got a story for you.
Oh no, I don't. No. I'm just trying. I'm like visualizing it because it's down in South Park, right? Rock Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
I think that might be where.
So it's the gross part of town. Spooky.
They almost look like the faces of children, and according to the tale, there was a man that held them captive down in a cave at the bottom of the winding trail. Some people even thought he was a devil, and I can confirm that because what happened to my brother. Up until the age of 13, me and my older brother Gary were inseparable. We did a lot of things with our own friend Kyle, including getting into all sorts of trouble down in the canyon. Our parents always told us to not stay down there after dark, mostly because a lot of homeless people roamed the area, and there were even times we saw a few of them rummaging for scraps in the desolate area. This particular night I will never forget, because Gary had the bright idea to go salvage a bike he saw from the bridge. Kyle didn't make any objections despite the hour. When we finally made it to the bottom of the ravine, I realized there was a reason for me feeling uncomfortable. There wasn't just a bike lying there, but the figure of a frail little girl.
No.
She had probably been riding too fast near the edge and plummeted to her death. I think Jake might have puked when he saw her crushed skull. "Aw, man, that sucks," Gary said as he checked the bike. "Are you crazy? I'm not stealing a dead girl's bike," I told him. "Finders keepers," he said nonchalantly. "God, you are so annoying. I wish you were dead," I shouted. Something stirred in the cavern nearby. The three of us froze. We had thought we were alone in the cabin, but now this imposing man was staring down at us from atop a strangely shaped rock.
No.
He was dressed in all black with a long scraggly beard and smoking something as he cleared his throat and said, "You needn't worry about the girl. I've taken good care of her."
No! Oh my god.
"What do you mean?" Kyle asked in confusion. The man gestured to a nearby group of rocks. We looked down toward it. I remember thinking how the formation looked like faces. "Your eyes do not deceive you. For any lost child in these parts, I make sure they are never forgotten," he said.
Get out of my face. Oh my gosh.
Whoa, who are you? Kyle asked. Raditas is his name.
What?
Raditas. Raditas.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say like Ratata, like
Ratata.
like, and I'm like,
I
that's
choose
not
you. Raditas. "It's a pleasure to meet you three hooligans. I don't often see any children before they die," he commented. Gary started to run. Then Raditas flicked his finger and something long and oily spiraled through the air. It hit my brother in the back of the head and he fell to the ground and started to convulse and foam at the mouth. I was shaking, not sure what I was saying. "What the hell?" Kyle said. He moved to leave, and then the strange man made another flick and held him up in the air like a puppet on strings. Finally, my brother stopped moving and fell unconscious. I saw Kyle's eyes roll back into his head, and then Raditus spoke. "I'm offering you a choice, a life for a life. One of these will die, and the other shall return to you.
What?
But know this, the one that returns will only remember themselves. The one left behind will be forgotten except for by you. Now choose." It was an impossible choice, my brother or my best friend. One would die, the other live. I knew I couldn't live with myself no matter what. I was having an asthma attack trying to decide. Then I closed my eyes and thought of all the times Gary was mean to me or picked on me. I don't know if Raditas was helping me recall it or not, but the fond memories were hard to find. I realized I didn't like my brother as much as I had thought. "Kyle, please save him," I decided. The whole thing seemed surreal. Both Kyle and I blacked out and woke up near the bridge. The constant traffic woke us up shortly afterward, but Kyle looked around confused. I even asked him about Gary, and all he said was, "Who's Gary?" That was so long ago, and for a while I have thought I made the right choice. No one remembers my brother except for me. Raditus saw to it to keep his end of the deal. I was never bullied again. Recently, though, things have changed. You see, I still live close to the old singing bridge, and my two boys play near it from time to time.
No.
John mentioned the other night he met a man that knew me, and I asked him what he meant. "The old man near the bridge. He said he was a friend of yours," he said. His brother James seemed especially upset about the situation, and I prodded a little further. "What happened?" "He made us play a game," James said. "Said if we both won, we would get a prize," he said. "What was the prize?" I asked, growing concerned as I listened. "He said he would make one of us permanently his property," James said. "Who was this guy anyway?" I asked, still not seeing the connection. "He called himself Raditus," John said. There was enough for me to go get my jacket and head for the bridge. The landscape itself seemed harder to traverse thanks to the additional trees now provided by Mother Nature. I found the stairs, though, and descended to the bottom. I found the old rocks, the ones where my own brother Gary resided now forever, etched in stone, and searched for any kind of clues for what John and James had seen. There were plenty of other stone carvings here, and there was nothing out of the ordinary. I just remembered how sad James was. I then realized I wasn't sure how many children I really had.
Oh my god.
I think I may need to talk to James and see if he had lost a brother too.
Oh,
That's the end.
oh my god.
Yep.
Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Okay, so I've never heard that before, actually. No, but
neither.
there's a lot of stuff that has happened down there. I can't recall anything right now. I might, we should try to talk to somebody and see if anybody has anything other than that. But
Let's go down there.
that's it. Not this time.
We're not kids, Chloe. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I am in my heart. Savannah, thank you for just kicking me in the teeth. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't like that story.
It's a good-
This girl's
it's a spooky one.
Bitch. My brother and I don't have the best relationship, but I would sacrifice my BFF for my brother.
Whew, okay, never mind. I'm not going down the canyon with you. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass out of there and be like, hey, take this bitch.
No, I read that story at work and I was like, oh, God.
Oh, God.
It's a good one.
I don't like it. Yeah, if it makes you feel something.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely creeped me out. Because now I'm thinking I need to go look at those rocks and like see if they actually do look like faces.
Right, it is totally the one that's in South Park, right? Rock Creek. Because I know there's one nice. There's one.
There's Rock Creek by the old hospital as well.
Yeah, that's what I see, and I was like, I'm not sure. I've been to both, but the one in South Park, like down in South Park,
where
is like
homeless people do hang out,
and it's fucking terrifying, especially in the dark.
So,
a bad time. All right, you gonna tell us another story? Tell us your out of state spooky story. I'm excited.
So mine takes place southeast of Ballard, Utah.
I've been waiting for this since we started.
So it's called the Skinwalker Ranch or the Sherman Ranch, and it's about 500 acres. And the name Skinwalker actually comes from a Navajo legend. And a skinwalker is a harmful, malevolent witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal, sometimes people.
Oh, good.
I'm going to give some more background. So tribe healers, medicine men and women, in order to practice their good works, traditional healers, learn about both good and evil magic. And most can handle the responsibility, but some become corrupt, and that's how skinwalkers become a thing. So the ranch is located actually bordering the Ute Indian Reservation. And I found a source, too, that says that people in that tribe don't go near the ranch. They, like, forbid it.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, we're off to a good start.
Okay, so that means something.
It's also called the UFO Ranch, too.
Sick.
And all of the UFO crap started in the 1950s, and it's still, like, a thing. So Terry Sherman and his wife Gwen Sherman, their names actually, these are just popular pseudonyms for the real family. I don't know their actual names.
Oh, so that's not their actual, so they're like...
Ooh.
They're like undercover.
Kind of, yeah. So it's a husband and wife and then their 2 kids. They purchased the ranch in 1994 with the intent of starting a cattle ranch business. And they actually fled in May of 1996. So they were there for 2 years. Not even 2 years. They moved in like autumn of 94.
Days are long in places like that.
No kidding. So the ranch had been abandoned and it was a decent price, so they didn't really question it. 500 acres is a lot of land.
That's an insane amount of land.
And so they noticed that there were deadbolts on windows, on the inside and out of windows and doors, on the house and other buildings on the property. And at both ends of the house, they found large iron stakes tied to heavy chains.
Oh, okay, good.
So something was...
That's... Oh, my God.
So here's what they experienced in those 2 years that made them fuck right off.
Big question. Did you find pictures?
I didn't know.
Oh, shit.
I probably actually can if I do some digging on some of those crackpot
I was going to say,
found.
like, there's no way that people had this shit, like, lying around and did not document some of it.
No, see, but I'll get to that. But
Oh, God.
I don't know how confidential all of their stuff is.
Oh, right.
So the family heard mysterious voices coming from the air. They'd be, like, out on the farm, and they were talking to each other. Like, they would hear voices
just coming out of nowhere? Oh, my God.
So, multiple cattle mutilations. 14 cows out of the 80. And that's really rare. Like,
that's a big amount.
That is. Like,
that's a lot of cows.
Yeah. And I actually found a source that said, hold on. Because I was just saying, like, oh, they were mutilated. And I was like, okay. But I found a source today.
Oh, my God.
That said cattle had their reproductive organs sucked clean out. So I don't know what the fuck kind of technology that the aliens are using, but it's something.
Oh my God.
And then they would see exotic multicolored birds, like birds that should be in like South America.
Oh.
In Utah.
Just like
what the fuck? Yeah, they would just see them.
There's nothing happening in Utah for everybody that hasn't been to Utah. There's nothing
It's not
going
that.
on.
Inanimate objects flying around the home and the property.
What?
Yep.
Oh my God.
And they would see weird beast-like creatures, UFOs flying above their land, and they would get crop circles as well, go figure.
Cool.
And the family actually... So I found 2 versions of the story. I'm going to tell the crazy one first, and then the more tame one second. So the first day that they moved in, this is called the unkillable wolf, like this story. So the family spotted a large wolf nearby, and the wolf actually went up and greeted the family like a long-lost pet, and even let the family pet the wolf, and so they're like, okay, you can stick around. You smell like a wet dog. It had been raining that day. After a few minutes, the wolf strolled over to the corral and grabbed a young calf by the snout and attempted to pull it through the corral bars, trying to get some snack.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So Mr. Sherman and the son began beating on the wolf's back with an axe handle, and the wolf didn't release. The son grabbed it's a .357 Magnum from his truck and shot the wolf at point blank range in the side, and the bullet had no effect. There was no bleeding, and it didn't budge. So he shot the gun again, and the wolf let go of the calf and I guess looked at the family kind of like, you serious? You really trying to fuck with me here?
Oh!
And Sherman shot in 2 more times with the powerful handgun. The wolf backed off. Still no signs of injury. And then the Sherman grabbed a hunting rifle from his truck and shot the wolf at close range. Shot the wolf 5 more times, still not bothered. After a 6th shot, the wolf slowly trotted across the field into a muddy thicket. And so the son and father tracked the wolf for about a mile following its paw prints through the mud, and then the tracks suddenly ended. And so the other story I found was the family saw a large wolf attacking one of the cattle, shot the wolf multiple times, and it didn't react. Eventually being shot 6 times, it ran off and vanished. So that one was just like...
That's like a TLDR kind of thing.
Yeah, and they actually reported that a lot, as they would see, like, big animals.
Like actual reports? Like there's actual, like...
From this family, they multiple times said, like, I think the wife, she said she saw the wolf, and it, like... its head came up to her truck. Like, it was big.
Huge.
Yeah. And so the family reported sometimes in the middle of the night, their entire pasture would light up as if illuminated by football stadium lights. And, like, let me tell you, any of my UFO nightmares look exactly like that. Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
And this story just sounds wildly inconvenient, and I'd be really pissed. So Mrs. Sherman returned from the grocery store, unpacked all the groceries, folded all the bags, set them on the counter, went to the bathroom, came back, and all the groceries are back in the bags.
That's a horror story in and of itself.
I'd be pissed. I'd be like, fuck, like, this is what you mess with?
Like $200 and you couldn't just let me fucking have my groceries?
No.
Where the fuck are my Reese's Puffs?
My Reese's Puffs. So then, here's some more UFO stuff. So there was a broken down RV in the pasture, and Mr. Sherman thought maybe a tourist was lost. So as he approached the RV, it rose straight in the air and flew out of sight.
Oh my, what the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck, right? Jake's friend was actually telling us, told him about it, and he said it's like if Gravity Falls was a real place.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, damn,
that's
you're
a
right.
hot mess.
Yeah.
Except the gnomes, though. Those were the best part.
Floating spheres. So there were 12 different incidents where large orange spheres were flying over the trees and the center homestead. They were about the size of like a basketball, and the orange spheres would open and let smaller spheres fly out as well. And then blue orbs were more terrifying. They were around the same size. According to them, they were intelligently controlled. So one evening in May of '96, Mr. Sherman was outside with his cattle dogs, and he urged the dogs to go get the ball because he wanted to know what it was. So the orb dodged the dogs, and it led the dogs out across the pasture and into thick brush, and the dogs made 3 yelps. He called for his dogs, and no response. He didn't get anything. And so he decided to check it out the next day, which kind of fucked up. And when he went, there were 3 round spots of dried, brittle vegetation, and in the middle of each circle, there was a black, greasy lump. So this event prompted Sherman to consider fucking off from that farm.
Yeah.
And so after 2 years, the family actually found it difficult to sleep at night. They all had violent nightmares. Family members would experience identical dreams as well.
That's when you know, like, shit's
something's
happening.
weird,
like,
yeah.
'cause if you dream, like, the same thing, that's,
Shit's fucked up. And then the family actually all started sleeping in the same room for safety. They were all afraid.
Gosh.
And then in late 1996, Robert Bigelow purchased the ranch from the Shermans for $200,000.
I would have paid 2 nickels for it. Like, I would have sold it for anything.
So he had a thing going on. Robert Bigelow. It's called NIDSCI, and it stands for the National Institute for Discovery Science. Actually disbanded in 2004, but it was made to research paranormal phenomena.
Oh, so he was more... Yeah, I get it. So he was trying to get to the bottom of it.
He bought it, and
so
he
wasn't just like somebody.
No, he bought it, and he was like, I want to know what the fuck.
Yeah.
And so they tried to get scientific evidence for all the ongoing bullshit on the farm. But investigators admitted that there was difficulty obtaining evidence consistent with scientific publication. So they couldn't really, I don't know. And then the ranch was sold to a private corporation called Adamantium Real Estate, LLC, in 2016.
Oh, so that was real recent.
And in 2017, the name Skinwalker Ranch was actually filed for trademark and then was issued in 2018. So that was recent too.
Oh my gosh. So that's like new. It's like a new development.
Yeah. And I did some research on Robert Bigelow because he's just like a weird fucking dude and he's like obsessed with UFOs.
Yes.
And he actually, I don't know if this organization is currently a thing, but it was founded in 2008 and it's called BASS, BAASS. And it stands for Bigelow Advanced Aerospace Studies. Aerospace Space Studies.
Good for him.
Yeah. So their current organization is a thing. And also there's a book. It's called Hunt for the Skinwalker. Science Confronts the Unexplained at a Remote Ranch in Utah. And it's by George Knapp and Colm Keller. And in their book, they talk about a yellow light, maybe a tunnel, with a faceless black creature emerging from it at the ranch.
No.
Bigelow actually abandoned studies on the Skinwalker Ranch in the early 2000s, but in 2007 he got a Pentagon contract for $22 million to study advanced aerial threats, including some that remain allegedly unidentified.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so the current owner is kind of a mystery because the Adamantium Real Estate, it's kind of anonymous. But I did find a name, Thomas Winterton. He spoke at a local council meeting about the road closure years back at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Because someone tagged him in something on Facebook, and I think he felt the need to talk about it. I don't know. Yeah, so there's a guy, Ryan Skinner, who's like a member of like these websites where they talk about it, and he's the one that tagged Thomas and something was like, please explain.
Right.
And so this is him saying, in past posts, I've been tagged and asked to clarify or add insight to the conversation. For the past 2 years, I have refrained. The time has come that I would like to clarify a few things I have read on this page. This will most likely be the only thing I post on here. First, good job, Ryan Skinner, on keeping this page intriguing and also using what seems to be good judgment on moderating the discussions. I have followed this page since being hired as a consultant and representative of Adamantium Real Estate Holdings over 2 years ago. It has been interesting and very amusing to read the posts on this page in regards to who the new owner is. As I am under a NDA, I am very limited in what I can say, but in light of several of the past posts, I will just set the record straight. First and obvious, the new owners does not want to be identified. The new owners is and are very successful and intelligent. He, she, they have gone to great lengths and expense to keep their identity private. There have been layers added and precautions taken to ensure privacy. Because no public dollars have been used in purchasing or maintaining the ranch, it really is none of the public's business who owns it. I understand the curiosity, but that does not supersede a private entity's rights to remain private. The owners has set up Adamantium, hired a law firm to manage it, hired a real estate management company to oversee it, and have done everything through third-party contractors. Even the manager of the ranch has chosen and hired by the real estate management company. When I submit an invoice for my consulting, I submit it to the real estate management company. When we had contractors on the ranch, they were paid through the real estate management company or the owner of the real estate management company. Good luck finding the owners, because anyone who knows the true identity of the owners are all under a strict NDA. And even if we weren't under an NDA, we wouldn't risk our access to the ranch and our place in the inner circle for a few moments of glory on a page with people we have never met. If I asked, many associated with the protective layers would claim they are the owner simply to throw off the hunt and protect the identity of the owners. I can tell you for sure that Jeremy Kenyon Lockyer Corbel did not travel on the owner's private jet to the ranch. I will end by saying that many hired to perform functions within the ranch started off doing so simply as a job. Over the past 2 years, the fascination and the level of involvement by those associated with the ranch had grown, and now many of those hired to do a job have become very involved in the ranch. Do not mistake their involvement as a sign of ownership, or you will chase a rabbit hole that gets you nowhere. And so Jeremy is a filmmaker who released a movie about the ranch that features George Knapp. So I think he was like, yeah, they flew me out on a jet.
Oh.
So that's why he's like, fuck you. So it's
Yeah,
a
no
complete
kidding.
fucking mystery. Who owns it? They don't want to be identified. Also, it's closed off to the public, so... What the fuck?
What the fuck? So there's some shit happening.
Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Because it's just a fucking ranch, you know? If it was
Yep.
just nothing, like, people wouldn't
No, like...
worry about it. Like, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
We protected something. But,
Good.
big one.
Lord.
God, I'm so burpy today.
You gonna leave that in there?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay. So I didn't get to do a whole lot of research because I've been busy and tired and
Lay it on me, though.
dying, and I'm like, what do I talk about? Because there's tons of things to talk about, like, but I don't know. I'm sure that this is a popular one, but I've never heard of this. It's called the Texarkana Moonlight Murders.
I've never heard of it.
There's
either.
actually a movie based on it, and it's called The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which sounds really incredibly familiar to me. It was a film that was made in 1976. It's supposed to be based on this story, but... like in the beginning, it says that it's based on true facts, but they changed a lot of it. Like they stated just to have claimed, they claimed to have changed just the names, but a lot of people say that it's just.
We should watch that movie also because there is a movie about the Skinwalker Ranch too. That came out actually a couple years ago. I
We
think.
should honestly watch. We should just have a movie night and we should just watch all of these.
We should.
It's some pretty intense stuff. So, between February 22nd, 1946 and May 3rd, 1946, 8 people were attacked with 5 people being murdered in and around Texarkana, which is in Arkansas and Texas, I guess.
Oh, so it's like a weird middle.
Yeah, I guess. It was crazy. So the Texarkana Moonlight Murders were a string of unsolved murders committed by a serial killer known as the Phantom Killer or Phantom Slayer in a 10-week period. Which, the Phantom Killer, that's very, like, Scooby-Doo-ish to me. Like, when I hear Phantom Killer, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
I love Scooby-Doo.
I super do too, actually. So I'm just gonna read straight from the crime case. So the first attack was around 11:45 p.m. on Friday, February 22nd, 1946. Jimmy Hollis and his girlfriend, Mary Jeanne Laurie, age 19, parked on a secluded road known as Lover's Lane after having seen a movie together. The area was approximately 50 feet off Richmond Road on an unpaved street about 100 yards from the last row of city homes. Around 10 minutes later, at 11:55 p.m., a man wearing a white cloth mask, which resembled a pillowcase with eye holes cut out, appeared at Hollis's driver's side door and flashed a flashlight in the window. Unsure if the man was pranking him, Hollis told him that he had the wrong person, to which the man responded, "I don't want to kill you, fellow, so what do I say?" What the fuck?
Oh my god. That's cryptic.
Yeah, both Hollis and Laurie were ordered out the driver's side door, and the door ordered Hollis to take his goddamn britches. To take off his goddamn britches. What the fuck?
Take off your goddamn britches.
Take off your goddamn britches.
Wouldn't that be funny if instead of murders he just stole people's pants? Like that was his thing. Like, take off your pants.
Specifically britches. Like that's all you have to. Oh my god, that word kicks my ass. It's really funny. After he complied, the man struck him in the head twice with a pistol. Laurie would later tell investigators that the noise was so loud that she initially thought he had been shot, when it in fact had been a skull fracturing.
Oh my god. That's a pretty hard
That's a
hit.
thick piece of bone right there.
Yeah.
Think of the assailant wanted to rob them, Laurie showed him Hollis's wallet to prove that he had no money, after which she was struck with a blunt object. The assailant ordered her to stand, and when she did, told her to run. Initially, she tried to flee toward a ditch, but the assailant ordered her to run a different direction up the road. Laurie spotted an old car parked off the road, but found it empty, and was again confronted by the attacker, who asked her why she was running.
What the fuck? Run. Why are you running? It's like, oh my god.
Oh my god. When she responded that he had told her to do so, he called her a liar before knocking her down and sexually assaulting her with the barrel of his gun.
What the fuck?
What does that even mean? Like, what did he do with the barrel of his gun? They don't ever, fucking talk about that. Like,
he probably just, like...
just
a little...
probably just, ran it across your
And that's not
titties.
good trigger discipline or any of those rules they teach you in hunter safety.
Could you imagine getting shot up the vagina?
I don't want to.
That's not the way I want to go, man.
Fuck no.
People would tell stories. After the assault, Laurie fled on foot, running a half mile to a nearby house. A car passed by the residence, which she attempted to call for, but was ignored. Laurie was able to awaken the residents of the house and phone police. So, meanwhile, Hollis had regained consciousness and managed to flag down a passerby on Richmond Road. The motorist left Hollis at the scene and drove to a nearby funeral home where he was able to call the police. Within 30 minutes, Bowie County Sheriff W.H. Bill Presley and 3 other officers arrived at the scene of the attack, but the assailant had already left. They found Hollis's pants 100 yards away from the parked car.
Oh,
sorry. That just fucking blows. Laurie was hospitalized overnight for minor head wounds, while Hollis was hospitalized for several days to recover from multiple skull fractures. Both survived the attack, however.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, they did their thing. Hollis and Laurie gave conflicting reports to law enforcement as to what the attacker looked like. Laurie claimed the man was wearing a white bag over his head with cutouts for the eyes and mouth, and that she could see under the mask that he was apparently African American. Hollis alternately claimed the man was white and around 30 years old, but conceded he did not distinguish his features, as he had been blinded with a flashlight. Mm-hmm. So that makes a whole lot of sense.
What if it was 2 guys?
Oh, you know?
And that's why one of them's like, run, and the other one's like, why are you running? It's like...
Or he's just severely, completely disturbed.
Knucking futs.
Yeah, knucking futs. Both agreed that the assailant was around 6 feet tall. Law enforcement repeatedly challenged Laurie's account and believed that she and Hollis knew the identity of their attacker and were covering for him.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's what people do.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So they got away, they survived, and then just 4 weeks later, the Phantom Killer struck again, committing his first double murder. Richard L. Griffin and his girlfriend of 6 weeks, Polly Ann Moore, were found dead in Griffin's 1941 Oldsmobile sedan on Sunday, March 24th, 1946, between 8:30 and 9 a.m. by a passing motorist. The motorist saw the parked car on a lover's lane named Rich Road, now South Robinson, near Railroad Spur 100 yards south of U.S. Highway 67 West, close to a night spot called Club Dallas. The motorist at first thought that both were asleep. Griffin was found between the front seat... Griffin was found between the front seats on his knees and his head resting on his crossed hands, and his pockets were turned inside out. Moore was found sprawled face down in the back seat. Griffin had been shot twice while still in the car, and both had been shot once in the back of the head and were fully clothed. A blood-soaked patch of earth near the car suggested to police that both had been killed outside of the car and placed back inside. Ooh. Congealed blood was found covering the running board and had flowed through the bottom of the car door. A .32 cartridge shell was also found, possibly shot from a Colt, inside the blanket. No extant reports indicate that either Griffin or Moore were examined by a pathologist. Contemporaneous. Oh dear. Contemporaneous. How do you say that word? Contemporaneous. Contemporaneous? It's that C word right up top.
Yeah, I think you said it right. Contemporaneous.
Contemporaneous.
The C word.
The big C. Contemporaneous. That's probably not how I'm supposed to say it. Anyways, contemporaneous local rumor had it that a sexual assault has also occurred, but modern reports refute this claim. In response to the murders, police launched a citywide investigation along with the Texas and Arkansas City Police, the Department of Public Safety, Miller and Cass County Sheriff's Departments, and the FBI. By March 27th, the local police had interviewed around 50 to 60 witnesses, including patrons and employees of Club Dallas, a local bar near the crime scene. By March 30th, police had posted a $500 reward in an effort to gain any new information on Griffin and Moore on the Griffin and Moore case that would lead to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible. However, the rewards yielded no fruitful clues or suspects, instead produced over 100 false leads. In exactly 3 weeks from his first double murder, the Phantom Killer struck again, claiming the lives of 2 more people. Another double murder. So
You know
that
what they
happened
say,
on...
though?
What's that?
You know what they say, though?
What do they say?
If you have sex, you'll die. You'll get pregnant and die.
Okay, this is obviously true. So if you fuck, they're gonna...
Don't go to Lover's Point, you'll die.
They gonna fucking kill you. Okay, so on April 13th, 1946, second double murder was committed. Can we just talk about this for a fact? Okay, so like... every story I feel like you tell is like in May.
Yeah.
Like things just happen in May. Like they're like, hey, it's changing of the season. It's like close to summer.
Murder.
We're gonna fucking kill somebody.
Also, so there was probably some exposure. So there was the first murder there. So on what fucking planet would you be like, yes, I'm going to go there with my significant other and smooch? Like, a murder just happened there. What the fuck are you thinking? Like, these are 3 weeks apart, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that it wasn't the same place exactly.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just paranoid. So if anything weird happens, I'm staying the fuck away from that area.
I don't know. I wouldn't be interested in that. So the first one was known as Lover's Lane off Richmond Road. And then the second one was it was also a Lover's Lane, but it was named Rich Road, which is now South Robinson. They gave like more detail. Oh. I don't know, dog. Anyways, on the evening of Saturday, April 13th, Betty Jo Bucker she was 15. Oh.
She was just a baby.
Oh, no. Now I'm like sad. Oh my God, how old were the other ones? Richard and... Oh my God. Richard was 29 and Polly was 17. That's why they got fucking murdered.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It was a different time back then, though.
Yeah,
it was the 40s.
Yeah, people were like, I'm gonna be a fucking child molester. Oh my God. Anyways, Betty Jo was playing her alto sax in her regular weekly gig with her band, the Rhythmares. The Rhythmares. Yeah, the Rhythmares.
Do you think there's any music of theirs on YouTube?
I don't know. Well, she's fucking dead, so she's 15, so I really doubt there's any music.
Well, maybe like someone dug up. How do you spell it?
Rythmares. Rhythmares, right? Yeah. And the Rhythmares at the VFW Club at West 4th and Oak Street. Around 1:30 a.m. Sunday morning, April 14th, her friend, Paul Martin, age 16, not a 29-year-old, arrived to pick her up from the performance. This was the last time the couple were seen. Martin's body was found at around 6:30 a.m. that morning by Mr. and Mrs. G.H. Weaver and their son lying on its left side by the northern edge of North Park Road. Blood was found further down the other side of the road by a fence. He had been shot 4 times, once through the nose, again through the left 4th rib from behind, a 3rd time in the right hand, and finally through the back of the neck. Booker's body was not found until approximately 11:30 a.m., almost 2 miles away from Martin's body behind a tree. She was found by members of the Boyd family along with their friend Ted. I'm not even going to say his last name because that is a ridiculous last name, their friend Ted, who had joined the search party. Her body was lying on its back, fully clothed, with the right hand in the pocket of the buttoned overcoat. Booker had been shot twice, once through the chest and once through the face. The weapon used was the same as in the first double murder, a .32 automatic Colt pistol. Martin's 1946 Ford Club Coupe was found about 3 miles away from Booker's body and 1.55 miles away from his body. It was parked outside Spring Lake Park with the keys still in it. The authorities were not sure who was shot first. Sheriff Presley and Texas Ranger Captain Manuel Gonzalez. It looks like it's supposed to say Gonzalez, but it's not. It's like Gonzaulas.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going to say Manuel Gonzalez said that examinations of the bodies indicated that they both had put up a terrific struggle. Martin's friend Tom Alberton said he did not believe an argument had happened between the victims and that Martin hadn't had any enemies. Law enforcement were unable to locate Booker's saxophone at the crime scene. The saxophone was eventually discovered around 6 months later on October 24th, still in its black imitation leather. That was the hardest word for me. Imitation leather case in underbrush near where Booker's body had been found.
Oh my gosh. A
reward fund exceeding $1,700 was accrued for information leading to the persons responsible to the Griffin Moore and Martin Booker murders. Rumors circulated throughout the area, with one rumor suggesting a local minister had turned in his own son as a suspect in the Martin Booker murders. On April 18th, Police Captain Gonzalez issued a statement to the public during a press conference assuring the public that the murderer had not been caught and that the rumors circulating among the public and the newspapers were a hindrance to the investigation and harmful to innocent persons. So, yeah.
I did find a band.
You did find a band.
Yeah, they're old. So I don't know.
1940s.
I don't know if this is them. Do you think this is them?
If you hear a saxophone, maybe. That's like too good for like 15 and 16-year-olds to be doing.
Well, what if only one of them was 15? Wait, what was it? What was their name again?
Rithmares.
No, the person that was moited.
Oh, her last name was Booker. Betty Jo Booker. J-O.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Is there a picture?
There's some pictures. I think these are pictures of dead bodies. Immediately, they're just like, here you go. And I'm like, damn.
See, and I didn't look at pictures of the victims. I did look at pictures of the Phantom Killer because, you know, they portrayed him in a movie. So I was like, they've got a visual.
She was just a little baby.
Yeah, she was a little baby. Somebody's little baby got fucking murdered and shot twice. Somebody's other little baby got shot a lot. So rest in peace to Martin.
Okay, I don't know.
Did you figure it? No, you didn't figure it out?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, so it actually talks about a shortage of men forced leader Jerry Atkins to enlist 4 females. One was alto saxophone player Betty Jo. So let's look up Jerry Atkins and see what the fuck his deal is. Yeah, there's too many Jerry Atkins.
Yeah, that's a big name.
It is. I don't know. So we'll never know. I just feel like that's a pretty, I don't know, unique band name that I feel like, I don't know.
The Rithmares.
It's
probably not even mares, but that's what it sounds. That's what it looks like to me.
Something.
So his last and final victims were attacked nearly exactly 3 weeks later.
So he just kept doing it 3 weeks apart.
Yeah, people do that though. People kill in like patterns and like streaks.
Yeah.
And
they do it and then they're like, all right, I'm good for a while. Then they like itch to do it again.
Because what is it like? Oh no, it's a missing person. You have 48 hours, 72 hours before like it becomes like hopeless. And so I was like, murders, but it's for missing persons. And they found their bodies. They're not coming back.
Yeah, They just straight up had pictures of the dead bodies on Google. Like, no shame.
No, yeah. I found pictures of spots where decomposing corpses were.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'll show you later.
Okay, cool. Post it on our Instagram.
Yeah, no, it was a thread on Facebook. I'll try to. I probably liked it.
Oh wait, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the one
did
on
you
Facebook.
see it?
Yeah, where it's like on the mattresses and stuff.
Yeah,
that made me
on
feel
the
like
floor
sick to
and
my
on the
stomach.
chair
Yeah.
and stuff, and I'm like, huh.
Oh man.
So on Friday, May 3rd, sometime before 9 p.m., Virgil Starks, age 37, a farmer, and a welder, was in his modest yet modern ranch-style house on his 500-acre farm off Highway 67 East, almost 10 miles northeast of Texarkana. He turned on his favorite weekly radio show, and his wife, Katie, age 36, gave him a heating pad for his sore back. He sat in his armchair in the sitting room, which was just off of the kitchen and the bedroom. While Katie was in her bedroom lying on the bed in her nightgown, she heard something from the backyard and asked Virgil to turn down the radio. Seconds later, while Virgil was reading the May 3rd edition of the Texarkana Gazette, 2 shots were fired into the back of his head from a closed double window 3 feet away. Katie did not hear the gunshots. Instead, she heard what sounded like the breaking of glass. She thought Virgil dropped something and went to see what happened.
Oh no.
As she entered the doorway to the living room, she saw Virgil standing up and then suddenly slump back into his chair. She saw blood, then she saw blood, then ran to him and lifted his head. When she realized he was dead, she ran to phone the police. Oh my god.
Can you imagine how traumatizing that is, though?
Yeah.
Like, if Jake was chilling in the living room and I realized he was dead, he was shot in the head, I'd be like, oh my god, fuck.
I'd lose it. Like, that's just when all my chill would just go out the whole window. I wouldn't be able to, like, handle it. She rang the wall crank phone 2 times before being shot twice in the face from the same window.
Oh my god. So he went to someone's house and shot them this time. He wasn't like waiting out by their car.
Yeah, he didn't pull them out of their car, and he didn't take their fucking britches. Well, I don't know yet.
Britches.
I'm just kidding. One bullet entered her right cheek and exited behind her left ear.
Oh my god.
I don't think she died. The other went in her lower jaw, just below the lip, breaking it and splintering out several teeth before lodging under her tongue.
Ah!
She dropped to her knees, but soon managed to get on her feet. She ran to get a pistol from the living room, but she was blinded by her own blood.
Oh no.
She heard the killer tearing loose the rusted screen wire on the back porch. She thought she was going to be killed, so she stumbled toward her bedroom near the front of the house to leave a note. Meanwhile, the killer ran to the back of the house and made his way up the steps and into the side screen porch through the back screen door. She heard the killer coming through the kitchen window, so she turned around and ran through the dining room, through the bedroom, down a hallway, through another bedroom, and then into the living room and out the front door, leaving behind a virtual river of blood and teeth throughout the house and across the street. Barefooted and still in her blood-soaked nightgown, she ran across the street to her sister and brother-in-law's house. Since no one was home, she ran 50 yards to A.V. Prater's house. Prater answered her call for help. She gasped, "Virgil's dead," then collapsed. Prater shot a rifle in the air to summon another neighbor, Elmer Taylor. Prater called to Taylor to bring his car because Mr. and Mrs. Starks had been shot. Taylor, along with Mr. and Mrs. Prater and their baby, rode with Mrs. Starks to Michael Mayer's hospital, now Miller County Health Unit. So that's what it is now at 503 Walnut Street. Mrs. Starks...
Walnut.
Mrs. Starks gave Mrs. Taylor, the driver, one of her teeth with a gold filling. She was in a semi-conscious state, slumping forward on the front seat. Although she had lost a considerable amount of blood, she showed no signs of going into shock, and her heart rate remained normal. Miller County Sheriff W.E. Davis, who became head of the investigation, questioned Mrs. Stark in the operating room at Michael Mayer Miager Hospital. The news was printed on the front page of the next morning. On Saturday, May 4th, reading, "Murder rocks city again. Farmer slain, wife wounded." 4 days later, Sheriff Davis talked to Mrs. Starks again at the hospital. Mrs. Starks discounted a rumor that was circulating about Virgil hearing a car outside his home several nights in a row, fearing of being killed. So, yeah.
What the fuck?
So, and pretty much, like, she just was fucked up. There's no way that she looked normal after that. So, pretty much the people of Texarkana, they heavily armed themselves and they locked themselves in at night. And some people even left the town.
Oh, wow.
Just because of all the murders that had happened, and they were just in fear. They couldn't handle it. So miniguns and ammunitions were sold out of the stores, and so everything was pretty sold out. And I think that the stores even like closed early at night too. So then everybody got home safely. Some of the kids in the town even tried to take matters into their own hand and tried to like bait the Phantom Killer to try to kill them themselves.
Oh man!
But the murders were never solved.
Fuck.
Ever. Like, nobody ever found really anything. Yeah. People just hid around town. And, yeah. Let's see.
So that guy got away with it.
It's pretty bad. So, after 3 months of no more attacks, the Texas Rangers, they slowly and quietly left town to keep the Phantom believing that he was safe to strike again.
Yeah.
Which he didn't. Really, as far as anybody knows. So in 1976, the film The Town That Dreaded Sundown again was released, and it was loosely based. I'm going to say loosely because it seems like there was a lot of controversy on the accuracy of the film. We're going to have to watch it and just kind of judge that for ourselves.
Yeah.
But I've heard of it before. I just have never I've never seen it, and I didn't know what it was based on. So there was a cold case in 1948 in Texarkana of the disappearance of Virginia Carpenter. So that was a case. The disappearance of Virginia Carpenter has been speculated to be the work of the Phantom Killer. So that's not completely linked to him, but it was kind of like,
could be.
Hey, maybe it's this guy doing his shit again. And let's see. Ewell Swinney. Ewell Swinney. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Swinney. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Was the prime suspect in the case who was linked to the murders by statements from his wife. She refused to testify against him, and he was never convicted.
Fuck.
So, yeah, she gave some statements, and he was never convicted for anything, and nobody was ever convicted for...
Can you imagine being, like, married to a murderer, though?
No, I don't think I could.
Do you remember that show that was, like, Who the Bleep Did I Marry? Do you remember that show?
Oh, Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
Yeah.
I'm all like, bleep. Yeah.
That's how I think.
That's
kind of on TLC. Yeah, it was like, people would find out that their significant other was, like, a murderer or, like, crazy shit.
It'd be nuts.
It would.
I don't know how I would handle it. I guess I would just...
There's not a lot of closure for either of our stories today.
No, there's no closure at all.
No.
It's still up in the air. I mean, it happened in 1946. It was possible that the person who committed the murders is still alive. They'd be really old.
Yeah. Or, I don't know.
But
because if they were in their 30s and the 40s.
My grandfather was born in like 1920, and he would be like mid-80s. Late 80s, like almost 90.
Yep, we don't know who did the murders, and we don't know what's going on at the ranch now.
We don't know who done it.
So it's just a whole thing. Don't know who the owner of the ranch is because they want to remain anonymous for whatever reason.
I just think it's insane that they like need the confidentiality. Like, they can't...
like, what are you hiding then? Like, I get they probably don't want to be harassed.
Dude, it's like Area 51, which I think is garbage, but it's like the same idea.
It's kind of like, what you hiding in there?
Apparently we pass Area 51 going to Arizona like every single time we drive down.
Oh.
Isn't that insane?
But yeah, so I guess that's
all she wrote.
A bunch of bullshit.
A bunch of bullshit.
I do want to watch the Skinwalker Ranch movie. It actually came out in 2013, so it was actually
so it's like fairly new.
Yeah, so it's
we gotta watch The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
We do. So we gotta watch both. I
like older movies too, and it was made in 1976, so it's got to be like pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be that bad.
Can't be.
movies made in the 1940s were not even that bad.
I'm also just like a sucker for anything alien movie because it will actually scare me, and that's like the
That's
issue.
your one.
Yeah, that's my thing that scares me. Well, like, it's really rare for me to watch a scary movie and actually feel genuinely scared because a lot of movies now just use jump scares, and it's like I'm scared for that second, but it's over and it's done. But
See, and it affects me later on. Like when I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm all like, oh, that's spooky. And then like I turn the lights on and I like kind of, and then I
fuck.
watch The Office and I eat some Oreos and I'm like, I'm fine. But it's like later on.
Yeah.
Like when I have to pee at 3:00 in the morning and
You're
then I'm
like,
like, okay,
"Oh,
this is
man."
a bad time to have to get up anyways. And then I'm like walking through my hallway and I'm like, what if I just see like a skinless person at the end of my
Yeah.
hallway?
so
And then I'm like, fuck.
the newest It movie, that one actually scared me. Like,
That was good.
I watched the original and it like scared me, but like the new one scared me.
It's like an old kind of scary. Like it's got like
Yeah.
an old school like scary kind of vibe.
But-
Like Children of the Corn, like all these
Yeah.
kids killing all the
It's
adults.
like eerie. But
Yeah.
there was that scene where it was the painting that
Oh,
played the flute. That scene, like, I'm getting chills thinking about that one specifically. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. Because, like, the clown himself didn't really scare me, but it was,
No.
like, weird shit like that was unpredictable.
right.
I kind of hate it, so we're getting, like, a lot of Pennywise the Clown merch at work, which I'm like, whatever, that's cool. However, it's seeping into my subconscious, and I'm having fucking nightmares about Pennywise the Clown. I've had 2 of them, and I can't live like this.
Savannah.
No, like, I had one last week, and I was like, damn it, you know what? I'm too fucking old for this.
I'm
I'm a 22-year-old woman in my own house, and I'm having nightmares about Pennywise the Clown.
You were never too old to be afraid. Because it's like a thing. I'm trying to find this thing. I found a thing somebody posted about Pennywise, and it was fucking awful. Like,
Oh, man, I want to hear it.
I think it was like a Skinwalker thing.
Ah! Yeah, because Pennywise the Clown feeds off, like, fear and shit, so he turns into what you're afraid of the most. That's, like, the whole shtick.
No, I'm lying to you. He was a Bogart. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
the Bogart theory that Pennywise was am I pronouncing that Bogart?
Yeah, Bogart.
From the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yep.
That he's just one of those.
Yeah, no, not a Skinwalker thing. I totally was like on
But
the other
it's, like,
other
the same
spectrum.
thing, because they're both shape-shifting, but...
yeah.
The Skinwalker, like, possesses
Darn it.
and
I
does
thought it
weird
was
shit.
like going to be like something based on real stuff, not just like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah, no, fuck that. Because, like, imagine something just being able to turn into your most deepest, darkest fear. Like,
So my deepest darkest fear is abandonment. How do you portray that?
that's why Pennywise doesn't go after grown-ups, is because, like,
Oh.
adults are afraid of, like, abandonment, money issues, whatever, where kids' fears are more tangible. Like,
I'm not like afraid of like objects. Like I don't like see. Okay, no, I'm not even. I was gonna say like porcelain dolls, but like
yeah.
that's just they're
You know
soulless.
what's weird? I had one that looked like me.
That's fucking. Well, it's not weird. It's weird for this like time period, but
Yeah.
like in general, I mean,
I
most
never
of them
thought
used
it-
to be made with like the actual child's hair, right?
Ah. See, I never...
I feel like that's a thing.
She had, like, gingery hair and, like, light-colored eyes and, like, a cute little outfit, and Andrew was afraid of her. Like, he was like...
You're lucky
"Can
she
we-"
didn't steal your fucking soul. Like
No, like, we were chill. I don't know, maybe it's
we
because
were
we looked
chill.
alike.
We were good friends. It was fine.
But Andrew would be like, can we, like, turn her around? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, when he'd sleep in my room.
Okay, real story. I was gifted a porcelain doll,
Mm-hmm.
and she was really pretty, but like, I'm a little wigged out. Again, still, my friend had porcelain dolls in one of her bedrooms, and I was so glad. And I say one of her bedrooms because she like had the whole basement to herself, so she
Oh,
moved from
yeah.
like one bedroom to the other because she just does that. Emily, I'm talking about you. And she had these porcelain dolls, and I'm pretty sure they're still in that bedroom. Freaked my mind out. Freaked my whole mind out. Like, I don't know if I ever expressed that to her or if I just like suffered quietly in her bedroom, but like it freaked me out.
I just had the one, and it was at my mom's house, so I'd only see it every once in a while, but...
Oh God, my porcelain doll. Okay, wait. So, okay, horrifying story about that is,
Yes.
yeah, I was gifted this porcelain doll, and she came in a box, obviously, because they
Yeah.
all come in a box, and we had her in storage in the basement. And at some point, the box ended up upstairs in the closet, which we don't move stuff from the basement.
Get rid of the doll.
Yeah, I can't
Burn
find the doll. That's the issue. So
Wait, what?
Yeah, the box is in the closet, and I can't find the doll. Like, she's gone. Like, I asked my mom about it because I'm like, so there's the box, and she's like, yep, she's in there, and I'm like, nope, she's not in there. She's like, well, what do you mean? Where else is she gonna be? And I'm like, girl, I don't know where she is. I just kind of left it alone because I'm like, maybe she's just
somewhere else.
Maybe she's just somewhere else. Like, maybe, like, I just left her. But, like, if you saw our basement, it's just full of just shit. There's just shit everywhere. Like, she's not safe wherever she is.
Yeah.
So I just have a really hard time believing.
What kind of box is it? Because mine came in, like, a shoebox looking thing.
It's a shoebox, yeah.
Okay, so was it, like, someone needed the box for something else and set the doll somewhere and took the box?
No,
like,
what the hell? No, the box literally is empty, sitting in top of my brother's, like, our spare bedroom in the top closet.
What?
Like, still. Like, for years now, and I still don't know where this doll is.
It's not in your room at all.
No. No, she's never been in there.
Don't think about that tonight at 3 a.m.
Okay, she's special because she was given to me by my mom's friend Helen, and we used to, she had a cabin up in Stanley. Yeah. We used to stay at her cabin, and she gifted me the doll before she passed, and I just haven't found the doll since she's passed. And
a piece of her spirit has clung to the doll.
Shut the fuck up. No,
but if she's a nice lady, it might be a nice doll.
She's a fabulous lady.
She might do your taxes, give you some life advice. Like,
I don't know that she'd do my taxes, but she was very sweet.
You never know.
I wouldn't mind being haunted by Helen. I miss Helen.
You know what's funny? My grandma actually had a friend named Helen who lived just like down the street, who was also a really sweet lady.
Did your grandma live in Twin?
No, she lived in Kimberly.
Oh. What was her last name?
I don't remember.
Figure it out.
What did she look like? What did your Helen look like?
She looked like an old lady. I know her last name, so if you could figure...
I can't think of her last name.
I can't. If you could figure... Oh, is that your grandma that's not with us?
Yeah. It's my grandma Sandy. It was her friend. They've been friends for years. She would come to our family stuff all the time and like...
Maybe it's the same Helen. For fun, I'm just going to say that it's the same Helen.
I'm kind of... The world's small around here. And also she would gift me like kind of weird stuff.
Helen would?
Yeah. Like one time she gave me this necklace and the beads were made out of like the seeds of some fruit or something. Like... And it had red beads with it too. And I was like, this is weird. I love it. Thank you.
I like that we know like Helens that are just good.
Yeah.
I want to be a Helen.
My dad would probably remember her last name. Tell me the Helen.
Her last name was Arnold. Get the fuck out of my face.
Hold on. I'm going to call my dad really quick and be like, what's Helen's last name?
Will your dad know?
He might,
I will poop my pants on your couch if her last name is Arnold.
If we knew the same Helen. What year did she die? She died when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know.
Hey, I kind of got a weird question.
Yeah.
Do you remember Grandma's friend Helen?
Yeah.
What was her last name?
Berline.
Damn.
Berline? Okay.
Like Berlin, only with an E.
Okay. I was wondering. Because Chloe was telling me her mom had a friend named Helen, and, like, the more we were talking about it, I was like, they aren't the same.
Same person?
We were wondering, but thank you for answering that question.
Sure.
Alright, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Berline.
Now the fun's over, because now we know it's not real.
They're the same Helen in our heart. That's what's important.
She was sweet. They're all sweet.
Hey, so if I keep that part in, does that mean my dad's our first guest on our podcast?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
He didn't even know it.
Hell yeah.
Surprise guest. It was
surprise.
It was Daddy. Oh.
You made that weird, Chloe.
I did. It came out.
Well.
Ooh. My gosh. Well, thanks for listening to our third podcast.
Yeah.
We appreciate it here from Savannah's living room.
It really warms my heart when people are asking about new episodes.
Oh, I love it.
I'm like, oh my god, people give a shit. I love it.
Also, to that guy that suggested we do video, if you saw what I looked like, you wouldn't want to see this.
Bitch, you are cute. Shut up. But video just makes things harder because audio is so much easier to edit. Just that. I don't have to worry about...
And then you can just kind of like in your head make up what we look like.
You can
today.
make up what my living room looks like.
Which it's actually really great. Like, this would be something that I would want people to see because your living room's fun. You've got fun stuff happening. You've got a bunch of really neat artwork and stuff and posters.
I got a cat calendar in my...
That's amazing. Next to a guitar. And then you've got your fridge with your magnets.
My magnets.
It took me I did not know what those were called for a minute.
I have like a bunch of interesting magnets.
It says porn. So
yes, it says porn stash and stash because it's Ron Jeremy.
Oh
and
my
then
god!
Next to it is like, porn stash like mustache or porn stash like stash of it.
I fucking love it.
It's a play on words, but
play on words.
Anyways, we are out skis.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.